Hello again. Um, this is my second drawing in my tarot series, I guess. The first one I did was the Fool, which is basically card zero, and now I'm on to the Magician. But if you want to go watch me draw the Fool first, then I will try to figure out how to link that in this video somewhere. I don't know how yet, but I will probably figure it out by the time I upload this. Yeah, so as I was saying, I'm on the Magician, and I'm just kind of learning the tarot cards at the same time that I'm drawing them. So I've watched a few overview videos of all the tarot cards. I read a little bit online, a couple Google searches, nothing crazy. I haven't got any books on it, but I just figured I would go a little more in depth in each card every time I do one of the drawings. So that's what I'm doing, and it's a pretty good way of learning, I feel like, although almost every video I look at says the same thing as like a quick Google search, and people always do definitions of one card, and I forget who it is that made the deck, but it's always the same deck. And this is probably going to be annoying to some people who actually are into tarot a lot, but I don't like the deck that much personally, but that's just me. I saw one video that had like 5 different decks, and I liked the really old one, I think, the best. It was like from the 1500s or something. I don't know. She couldn't remember the dates, so at this point I don't remember them either. Um but yeah, I just, in that video there was a lot of other decks that I liked more than the one that everyone uses. And I'm gonna figure out what the deck is called and put it below, because it's really frustrating that I can't remember right now. It's obviously a nice deck that everyone uses as kind of like a traditional template deck. I don't know, but personally I just don't care for the art that much. I appreciate it, but I don't care for it, if that makes any sense at all. Anyway, back to what was I oh yeah, I was talking about what the Magician card is supposed to represent, or what I've got so far from the little research that I've done. Basically just like you can manifest, or you have the ability to get whatever you want, basically. And or even like some people put manipulation a little bit in there, so I feel like you can get people to give you what you want, whether you like it or not. I don't know, you just have everything you need. You just have it all there in front of you, and you can just put in the slightest effort and you got what you want. You can manifest it, whatever. Yeah, so I just decided to draw her sitting out in nature and just have everything that she needs in nature already. I was gonna draw it like having all of the altar items in front of her, and like set out, the typical like candle and chalice of water, etc. But I decided to just kind of surround her with all of the elements, since basically she already was by the time I finished my first sketch. Yeah, so I just, instead of using a candle, I put a fire pit behind her. Um, and then I just made the water come up a little bit farther on her right side to represent the water on that side, which I believe that's the west is the water, the east is the air, south is the fire, and then north you'll see the little anthill up in front of her on the right, which I made to represent earth, just like a pile of dirt. Yeah, I think most people use like salt, but I didn't really know how to incorporate that into this picture, I guess, unless it was like a setup in Utah and there's just some salt, which maybe I should have done now that I'm thinking about it, but you know, it's okay. I'm finished. I'm not gonna go back and try to make it look like there's salt on the ground because I really don't know how to do that, but that would probably be a good idea next time, I guess. And then the front left, I have a little feather, and there's one falling also from the tree, and that's just to represent air. In front of her, there's like a crystal for manifestation, her little bowl to mix her shit, her, excuse my language, to mix her stuff in there, and then like a stick on the other side just to represent the wand. Yeah, so she basically just has everything right there with her. And I actually was going to put like a blue energy coming up the center of her all the way out through the top of her head, kind of to represent all of her chakras being aligned and like being powerful energy ready to manifest. But I really, by the time I was done, I was really not happy with the color I chose for her body anyway, because the color looked more like a tan and then it came out looking orange. Even though I made swatches for the paint, I still somehow didn't realize it was going to come out looking orange. Yeah, so that frustrated me, and then I tried to add a bunch of different colors in there, trying to make it look less orange, and I just didn't appreciate it, and I didn't feel like putting blue paint through the center of her body would help anything, and people would probably just think it was me not knowing how to paint at all, which might be true, but you know, I didn't want to make it look any worse. So yeah, speaking of which though, the color all around I actually like maybe a little better than my last one, just because it's more of a balance between the warm and cool colors and more earthy tones. The Fool's card, I feel like I did all just like browns and greens and a little bit of blues, and so it was just really like cool and earth tones, and there was no really reds or oranges or anything, and I think the sunset in this one just kind of makes it look a little bit better in that way. But yeah, so overall I'm a little bit happier with the colors. I remembered how to mix a gray for the mountains, which made me happy because I really don't care for the blue or the purple as the mountains in any of the paintings I've been doing recently. It just looks bad. Yeah, other than that, really not much. The fire I actually thought was going to turn out really, really bad, but I ended up liking it. I think it turned out pretty good. Although I used, again, even though there's a better balance of colors, I feel like I just use the brown for everything all the time. I don't know why the video just paused there for that long. My bad in the editing. I'm not gonna go back and re-edit that out, but sorry for that. But yeah, there's a lot of, I use this same color brown that I'm using in the tree for the ground, and I used it a little bit on her skin, and I obviously used it in the tree and the wood for the fire, which the tree and the wood makes sense to have it the same, but I really just feel like I need to figure out a new way to paint dirt and grass, because I feel like it just looks sloppy, kind of mixed together in there. But I do end up liking this tree, so I think the bark doesn't look that bad. It looks pretty good. Yeah, and here I just start adding little details here and there, just darken up the bark a little bit. I think I go back in on the feathers and the crystal after finishing this grass, and put a little bit of brown in there. Yeah, and then I'm pretty sure it's finished after that. I'm pretty okay. I guess I do make the grass look a little better here. I actually like it after this. But yeah, so the next card is, I believe, the High Priestess, and still learning about that. A little excited about that, but still I don't know exactly where I'm gonna go with it, because all the cards look the exact same. Like all the cards that I've looked at of other people's art, all just like the same. So I don't know. I don't want to do exactly the same thing as everyone else, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, here I'm just adding the last details here and there, and I think this is all I do, and it's done. So, and